What's up, everybody? Texas King Pick here with another episode. Got my partner Cryptic CyniC here with me again. We got DC going on here for us. Unfortunately, at this point, the Legions of Collector boxes that I'm always opening that has the exclusive DC content has come to a stopping point. So I won't be opening any more of those subscription boxes until they get up and started again. So that's a bummer, but at the same time, if you want to, you can go back and order previous boxes, anything that I had opened that you may have wanted. You can get onto DC legionsofcollectors.com and you can order those old products and stuff, and now you know what's in those boxes. And so no more exclusive Funkos from them. I guess they're kind of figuring out getting more content, more things to put together to send out. So no more surprises on that, but it was a good run while it lasted.
Yeah, hopefully it'll come back soon.
Yeah, you know, I started the channel kind of late, but I was looking back on my purchases, and I think I saw like as far back as December of like 2016. So it was every other month, but I definitely got like quite a few boxes from them. And if I had started the channel sooner, I would have opened a lot more of them. Hopefully they'll get up started again, or we'll find something else in its place. You got a box that's different from Legions of Collectors, but it's also DC. Why don't you tell us about it?
It is. I found this on Culturefly. We actually opened a couple other boxes from them before. It's the Mario and the Super Nintendo boxes.
Oh yeah, and those look like they were just starting out. So
yeah,
those were cool little collections.
Yeah, for sure. I guess that was the start of it, and this is actually one of their first, what do you call it, subscription boxes that they got going on. And it's all DC based, Justice League specific actually.
Now, do you know if that's Justice League the movie, or is it Justice League like just the entity Justice League itself, like from the comics?
I would say from the comics.
Okay.
Most of the pictures are random from comic stuff, but they do have a lot of movie featured stuff in there also. Okay,
cool. Well, let's get down. If you want to start breaking that open, let's see what's inside. I'll start talking a little bit. You've seen these bombshells before. They're actually my fiance's collection, that her little collection that she has is the Funkos. We already got her these 3. Got these 4 left to fill out the collection. So we've opened those before, and we'll go ahead and break those open on this episode as well, while we're finding out what he got in his box. So I'll get started on that.
We got a checklist here.
Okay, cool.
Kind of cool, like a comic strip.
Yeah, nice.
See that?
Cool. These are all girls, so they all have like dainty feet and come with stands. Don't forget, if you get girl Funkos or any Funkos with small feet, double check your plastic for that stand at the bottom before you throw it away. If you open them. If you're like me and open them, I gotta open them.
You got to.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while you got it.
Right.
This is pretty cool. Lasso of Truth USB cable.
Oh, awesome. Practical use, and you know, it's got that, you know, reference to it, you know.
For sure. And
so like that's cool, because like you need that practical use. I mean, like a lot of these little knickknacks and stuff, it's like it's cool to have, but like, Jesus, what are you gonna do with all of them? It's like,
especially the notebooks. I mean, come on.
Right, yeah. And so it's like, if you had just a normal lasso, it's like, okay, I guess I'll pin this little piece of rope up on my wall, you know. That's the lasso of truth.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, cool. USB. And is it like several ports?
Yeah, I guess it's for any cell phones.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, like 3 different ports to connect, just in case, you know, yours isn't compatible with just the, you know, standard one. Like for the iPhone, I recognize this one. This would probably go on my iPhone, but you know, I think one of these will fit in like my Game Boy. I don't know, another one in the controller or something like that. But very cool there.
Definitely. Here we go. Justice League pin set.
Nice.
Pins always get me.
Yeah, they get me too. And you know, like, I don't know what, just someday I'm gonna have like a a vest or a jacket that weighs like 100 pounds because it's got like all these stupid little random enamel pins that, like, I don't know, people are gonna steal off me in concerts.
Oh yeah. Or they'll just fall off when you get bumped by a stage diver or something.
Right? They're not like that little back pin isn't the most secure thing ever. They're falling off all the time. I need to kind of buy like those in bulk or something just to replace them every time they fall off, so I don't get stabbed in the chest by these pins sometimes.
The troubles of fashion.
What else you got? What else?
Green Lantern planter?
I think they just made that because it was fun to say.
Yeah.
Got the lantern planter.
Oh man. I mean, it's hollow in the middle, and it's like, I don't know, ceramic or something?
Yeah. I guess not. You'd have to have a green thumb to know what to do with that, huh?
I guess so. Yeah. Or some kind of ring.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, okay. I don't really know what you do with the planters. I guess, you know, this is just like, instead of buying like the little pot from Home Depot to put your flower in, you can have this instead. I wouldn't keep it outside or anything. It's pretty cool as is.
Right.
Yeah, and so, I mean, even if you don't want, actually I'm a little afraid to put it up there because, you know, my luck could just like knock it off and then shatter on film and everything.
Yeah. But you saw it for a moment.
Yeah, and if that happened, you would know the exact quality of it. And it wouldn't be my fault, really. It would be more of a blessing to you.
This is a cyborg themed box. So we got a little statue, vinyl figure of old boy himself.
Okay, cool. And he's got like his blaster about to go off or something like that. Victor Stone. And yeah, that's cool. You gonna open that up and set him up, or you gonna keep him in box?
I don't know. I might keep this one in box.
Okay, cool.
Even though it's already open and torn up.
Oh wow, they opened it for you. How nice of them.
Might as well. Culture Fly made the choice for me.
Culture Fly was like, well, we'll decide. You're gonna want to open this. And just so you don't think about collecting the box, let's rip the corners.
For real. It's feels pretty good.
Nice. It's got a little bit of weight to it or something.
It does. Unfortunately, I would say the quality's not as good as those other figures from Fallout that we did.
Okay, were those Culture Fly also, or were they Think Geek?
They were thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And that was like probably the cost of, you know, more than the cost of one of these boxes just for that figure. So of course they better put that quality in there, you know, instead of just like sending this free with the, not free necessarily, but as part of the box.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could be expected that it wouldn't be like that good a quality, but
yeah.
Still cool.
They put more quality into this lamp.
Right.
No. Maybe it's those Dragon Ball Z characters.
Oh yeah, yeah. We've come across some Dragon Ball Z figures that you'll see in another episode, and man, are they detailed? Spoilers, yeah. No, it's something to look forward to, right? You know, it's like the previews or something.
For sure.
We're gonna have a Dragon Ball Z episode that, you know, it has some figures in there that are just like awesomely detailed, and can't wait to go over those with on camera and show you all what we got there. What else we got?
A Superman picture.
Oh wow, nice. Some artwork.
Yeah, it's a little wooden picture frame thing.
That's pretty cool because none of the boxes we've had have had something like this.
No.
You know, and that's good quality. I mean, it's great artwork. I'm pretty sure my brother would love that. You know, the classic pulling open his shirt. You know, Spider-Man has that a lot too.
He
but
does.
I feel like it came best, probably originally from Superman because he's a lot older.
Yeah.
But it looks a lot better. You know, like it's cool when Spider-Man does it. You know what he's doing. But the S shield of Superman, I mean that that is the coolest thing. And you know, Spider-Man, he gets changed on the fly and stuff like that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But Superman used to have the classic phone booth thing, which like somehow like phone booths in Metropolis are like they're glass, but you can't see inside of them or something. I mean, he would do it like super fast, so it wouldn't matter. Like the human eye probably wouldn't see him anyway. But every time in the comic book or whatever, they never like. It, you know, show you like some guy like half undressed or anything like that.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like, did they have privacy? You know, like if I've seen those phone books, I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of those because you know they're before our time. Like Anchorman is probably the best. You know, I'm in a glass case of emotion. You know,
Bill and Ted for me.
Oh, there you go. Okay, Bill and Ted. But yeah, those are like total see-through, no privacy at all. You know.
Clear as day.
Yeah, so it's like I guess he had to be fast, and nobody. I mean, like, does he have spider senses also, or nobody's looking at me get naked right now, you know, or nobody saw me go in and then Superman come out. Like nobody's checking like the other side of this, like, you know, disappearing act. Like, where is Clark Kent? I'm waiting on Clark Kent to get out of this phone booth, you know.
I didn't use the phone, but a guy just went in there.
And nobody was ever using the phone. He never like ran up to one. He's like, "Oh, jeez, this is occupado," you know.
Wait for Bill to end his call before I could change.
Yeah, just hangs up for somebody. Yeah. You're done here, sir.
Bully Spider-Man.
Yeah. Like him and Spider-Man get caught up in the same one. Oh, no, excuse me. I was changing here first. Yeah, too much of a crossover there.
Yeah.
But
what about the early days? I mean, is there a time where Superman like fell out of it?
Right.
Dressed?
No, you know, he's already an adult by the time he's doing that in Metropolis, so he's probably got. He probably learned how to dress himself quite well back on the farm in Kansas. Yeah. So yeah, in Smallville. But yeah, too funny. And just another example of Marvel always copying DC. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'll probably catch flack for that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
I say, yeah, the chicken came first. The chicken is Superman, and Spider-Man's just a little egg.
Yeah.
Just copycat egg.
Is a boy egg.
The boy egg.
This one's actually kind of cool. Looks like a ID holder belt buckle for Batman.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this box has kind of blown me away. Because, like, artwork, I mean, not just one pin, like most of the boxes that we open have, like one pin.
Yeah.
I mean, is this only... You know, are they planning on having like multiple ones, or is this the only Justice League one?
No, from what I read, it's supposed to be one for each figure.
Oh, so like each member of the Justice League, they're gonna have like a theme for it?
This is a cyborg themed box. Yeah, there's only one cyborg.
Right, and so like you might say that you think that they're gonna come out with the whole collection of the Justice League. You know, like each box, like the next one might be Superman themed. Of course, it's gonna have all Justice League stuff, but it might have the Superman figure to add to the collection.
Yeah,
is what you're thinking. So that's cool. I hope that is true, and that's something to look forward to because already we're seeing. I mean, like, but what are they gonna do? I mean, I don't know, man. Because like just like the Legion of Collectors, like you're gonna run out of stuff. Yeah. Those other boxes, they have like one pin in them each. How are you gonna keep coming up with like? I mean, there's only so many things you can think of, I guess. I don't know, man. I would have never thought of a lantern planter.
No, me neither.
So maybe they know something I don't. But to put all those pins in here, this planter, this belt buckle with the ID. I mean, what's the bat card that you never leave home without? So he could kiss Poison Ivy.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like, oh my gosh, how cheesy did those movies get, man? After like Tim Burton left it, Tim Burton left the series and was like just gave it up to who? The highest bidder director, and
I guess so.
And they're just like who's who wants to direct the next Batman? Like, I don't know, I will. How do you want to do it? Who do you want to be Batman? I don't know. Who's on the top, like 100? George Clooney. I don't know. Who's on top of the world right now? Hey, Val Kilmer, you want to be Batman? Yeah. Sure. Oh, who you want to be against? I don't know. Who else is on top of the world? Tommy Lee Jones, you want to be in this? You know, like, sure. You know, like, do any of these people like have any? And now with like all the Marvel stuff that's coming out, they're getting everybody from overseas. Like, imagine if you had some like American play James Bond. I feel like everybody would be in fits. You know, like, oh my gosh. You know, an American, get Matt Damon to play James Bond. You know, like, he's Jason Bourne. He can't play James Bond. How dare you? And then you got like Christian Bale coming over and playing Batman. Tom Hardy's Bane. You got Benedict Cumber whatever as Doctor Strange. You got Andrew Garfield and I forget the new guy's name who's Spider-Man. Both of them English guys. The Amazing Spider-Man, like Andrew Garfield was great. But like I was already ready for him to be gone because I went to one of the movies and they had him and it wasn't Mary Jane. Who's the other one?
Gwen.
Was it Gwen Stacy? That's the chick in there.
I think so.
I forget. Yeah, it might be her. Yeah, and it had them before the movie talking about they're in like in regular like themselves speaking with their British accents and they're like, stick around for after the movie and you can watch this and that. Like totally sucked the immersion out. Right. Because I was like, I just watched these two have British accents and talk to me like a normal person, and then I'm watching them in the movie where they have American accents and everything, and I was just like, I just heard this guy talking like a British guy. Like now I can't unhear that like in the next 10 minutes and then enjoy like a 2-hour movie after I don't know who thought that up, but it was a horrible decision. Save it for after the credits, you know?
Yeah. For the final movie, maybe.
Yeah, or something like that, you know? Or for somebody who's actually like looking up interviews. I was in the theater. And it wasn't Alamo Drafthouse either. No. I'm not asking for anything extra special. Just give me the previews and give me my movie. And no, they have to come up and say, well, stick around and you get a free drink at the concession stand that's already going to be closed because you came to the last showing. And it's like, what? Just ruined that for me. So I was like, forget, no tears shed over Andrew Garfield. The dude's a British guy. And, then I have to hear him as Spider-Man. And, we just watched Avengers and we'll be doing an episode about that coming up soon. But I saw a couple of interviews after that. After, we watched the movie, and Benedict and, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man are touring, doing their press together, and they're both English guys. And so, it's not really that much for Doctor Strange, because I guess he's kind of like a little hoity-toity in the movie anyway. Mm-hmm. And so, like, for him to have a British accent doesn't seem that far off. But for Spider-Man, it's just like, I don't know, it just doesn't fit.
No, not at all. You don't see a New York kid after hearing a British guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to hear him in that British accent. Oh, I'm from the Bronx, Yeah, oh my gosh. I don't know. I guess both of them are a better fit than Tobey Maguire. Unfortunately. When I started watching Tobey Maguire, I didn't mind it so much. But golly, I was watching the third movie the other day, and where did they go, man? Like when he gets his like mojo of being a bad guy, he just like starts disco dancing down the street wherever he goes, and like all of a sudden women are paying attention to him because he's flashing some moves down the sidewalk, and it's like, this is New York. Is this guy
modern day New York?
Yeah, modern day New York. Is this guy really turning heads? Like even Tobey Maguire, the real guy, wouldn't turn heads like that. I feel like he's like he's not a male model or anything, and all these like model women are like, whoa, look at this guy. He's got an all black suit. Look out, he just spun out of that store because he's feeling that great and hit some disco pose. Like, I want to get with him. Nobody approaches him though. They just are like, whoa, I'm blown away by this guy's charisma. You know, I was like, okay. It got real weird, and that was somehow an effect of the symbiotes.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's like it brings out the worst in people. The worst of Tobey Maguire is a disco dancer that's
really is
confident in himself. Oh my gosh.
That has the same taint as the Batman you were talking about.
Right, yeah.
It was just a Hollywood movie.
Exactly, yeah. You know, you could chalk it up to exactly that. You know, Spider-Man was still in the freaking Batman franchise of things that didn't change until Christopher Nolan changed the game and, you know, started making it more realistic, which was cool, but then at the same time, you know, like, oh, like now the bad guys are dying and stuff like that. You know, like Bane has to get shot by Catwoman. It's like, what? Come on, you know? And like, I had a friend who was like, you know, I like that because it's more realistic. If you're a bad guy in real life, you're gonna die, you know? And it's like, well, but like, there's no repeat business here, you know? Like, you're just gonna keep coming up with bad guys. You know, I kind of like the whole Batman locks them up in Arkham, and that's like a main thing for Batman is like not killing them, you know. But it's like, oh well, he didn't kill him, Catwoman did, and then it's against his code, but Catwoman did, and so then it's okay. Let's run off to Italy and have coffee together. You killed a man. I'm cool with it, you know? Yeah. You're a thief, you know, and you killed a thief and a murderer, you know, but that's against my code, but since it was you, that's cool. I'm just sleeping with you. We can go on with our lives. Yeah. Hey, Alfred, we're in Italy, you know? Okay, whatever.
Happily ever after.
Yeah, happily ever after. He didn't die in the bomb, oh great. He just blew up his mansion, oh great. You know, like, how much like destruction to the city. I like that they're pointing that out in the Justice League one. You know, like how much destruction the city takes over like a measly fist fight between two people. Yeah. You know, like Superman, like no respect for Metropolis. Like I'm just gonna freaking shoot this guy through, you know, we're gonna get our laser, you know, like take down a whole city block, you know, all these people running for their lives. Lois Lane is fine in high heels and pregnant, you know, she can run freaking miles across the city and still have time to not get sweaty and hold Superman's head in her lap, you know. Oh, cry, you just had to kill a man.
Not breathing heavy.
Yeah, not breathing heavy. Like, Zod was about to, like, ice some kids with, like, laser beams. Like, he was gonna, like, light them on fire, like a family. And, like, oh, Superman was just so torn. Why did you make me kill him? Like, can't you, like, take a little bit of a moment to rejoice that, like, you saved that family? Yeah. No, he's got to cry. Oh, Zod, he made me break his neck after he was going to kill that family. You know, where's my Lois? I need a lap to cry in. Yeah. And then, oh my gosh. And so that's what all of these, that's what Justice League is about. Is Lois Lane now. It drives me freaking crazy, man. It drives me crazy, man. I just thought, like, oh, you know, it's Superman. They need, you know, and I like the strong women figures too, you know, like, I'm not against that, and I don't want to talk down on, like, oh, you know, they're just putting this woman in there because they want the woman audience kind of thing. You know, like, Wonder Woman at least was, like, great quality. I mean, she was awesome, you know, like, I was in love with her by the time it was done. I was like, man, she is so cool, and I'm not, like, threatened in my masculinity or anything by her, you know, like, I don't know what people think, you know, the all-female Ghostbusters are like, you ruined my childhood, like, before the movie even came out, everybody gets all threatened by, like, a female character, and I'm not threatened by that, but, like, golly, when they push that so hard, sometimes, it feels like it doesn't fit right. Yeah. Wonder Woman fit right. Lois Lane is a reporter. It's like, and some of the stuff didn't make sense. Zod shows up, and he's like, you know, bring Superman to my ship. And you too. Lois, you know, like, Lois Lane's just standing there like, and her. What? Why her?
Random human.
Who is she to you? Yeah, it's like random human. Why her? And then you got Russell Crowe's great part, like, oh, I'm inside the ship, so I'm just gonna stand here and I'll appear here and open this door here, and you save the day. You save everybody. And then I'm like, okay, that's just Superman. And they just did it because that is Superman. But Justice League will have Wonder Woman, and so we don't need that Lois Lane, like, push on us, right? You would think, oh no, Batman and Superman are fighting. Oh, it's not Justice League, it's Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice,
Yeah.
And they're like, what is it about? Oh, you're gonna kill Martha or whatever. Oh, why'd you say Martha? Both of our moms' names are Martha. And get Lois Lane, she's gotta get the spear. And then Batman has a dream and the Flash is there and Lois is the answer. I'm like, no! Lois is the freaking plague, man. It's the plague to these movies.
Yeah.
Get her out of here. Why is she so important? She's not. And then, because I was like, They kind of did that with Iron Man, and I wasn't as familiar with that, and they're like, oh, but she becomes Mrs. Iron Man or whatever, and I'm like, oh, well, cool, I guess. I don't know. That character wasn't important enough for me to know it, because I'm a casual comic book reader, I wasn't, super in depth with the Marvel ones, so well, she becomes Mrs. Iron Man, or I don't know, something like that. She becomes somebody important. And I was like, oh, well, I don't know. I just feel like it's weird that they had to give her powers too.
Why not?
Yeah, there are female, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow. There's female people already there. Why do you have to, give the normal person, Lois Lane has to be part of it. Let Wonder Woman be part of it. And let a lesser known hero, I don't know why, I don't know. It's like for the normal girl, it's like, oh, anybody can date Superman, and then anybody can have him crying for her at, I would love to hold Superman's head in my lap after he broke someone's neck and let him cry onto me. She's such a lucky girl, I guess, yeah.
That's what they're going for.
That's what they're going for in my eyes, it's, I don't know, not appealing to me, but I'll still watch them anyway because I love the rest of it. But it's just totally confusing to me why they need Lois Lane to be such an important character. It just doesn't fit to me.
Beyond me.
It's beyond me. So, okay. What else we got? Rant on that over.
Yeah.
So basically, this is a cool belt buckle.
Yeah. Back to this. That's actually why I bought the box.
Nice.
The Flash. Oh, the box is gone. Unimportant.
Right. The Flash track jacket.
Yes. With reverse capabilities. Bam.
Yes, reverse Flash.
Yes.
Which is awesome. Way cooler, in my opinion.
And the red on the sleeves in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it is reverse Flash. It's not like Kid Flash or something. Kid Flash also has the yellow and really throws it off. Because it's like, what? No, reverse Flash has that. And while that might not be the most creative name, he's a cool villain. And I like his outfit better, even though it's just inverted, really. But I don't know, maybe because he's a villain.
Inverted.
Right. So, the Flash on the CW, one of the best CW superhero shows in my opinion.
Definitely.
Mainly, the villains are all very good in that. I feel it kind of started this time. Of course, the original started with Smallville. That went on forever, and now they started again with Arrow, which started up first. Very cool. Oliver Queen. He had a little bit more of a brutal beginning in that, coming into being a superhero and stuff. But it was a lot focused on him, his family drama, Deathstroke, awesome. But half the time, actually more than half the time, 3/4 of the time, he's going to be Slade.
Oh, yeah.
He's just a guy with an eye patch. He's like, hello, yeah, like we've watched him on Spartacus also, and it's like the guy like does not change his voice. Like we thought he was like changing his voice to be in Spartacus, like to be this big old gladiator, and he comes in and shows up in Arrow, exact same voice. Yeah. That's just his voice. He's like, hello, Mr. Queen. You know, like, okay, cool. So Spartacus guy and Slade are the same dude. Awesome.
That's another argument, man. It's like they get all these people to play these parts, yet they just are themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know much about Ant-Man, but is it just Paul Rudd? Is he Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Like, the T, really?
Well, see, and like, I don't know if they're, because it's like, you know, they know people like that personality already. Because I was just reading the same about Peter Quill, Chris Pratt being Peter Quill. Is like, in the comics, he's like a hardened war veteran. And then here we got this dude dancing off to save the galaxy. And I love Chris Pratt, and he's hilarious. If you haven't seen him in Parks and Recreation, which a lot of people haven't seen, I don't know, they started with him already like super buff, and I don't know if it was like Zero Dark 30 or something like that, one of those like war movies that came out. And then Jurassic World, but before he hit the big screen like that, he was a little flabby, hilarious guy in Parks and Recreation. Shoeshine. Yeah, Shoeshine boy. Musician. Yeah, the lead singer to Mouse Rat / you know, guy living in a pit. Like, there's so many things. / what was his FBI name?
Burt Macklin.
Yeah. FBI character. Yeah. Him and Ron Swanson in there are like my two favorite characters.
For sure.
And they like totally make that. I mean, everybody makes that show. I feel like it was a great kind of follow up to The Office and that style of shooting a TV series. But he was hilarious in that. And if you haven't seen that, you don't know how to fully appreciate Chris Pratt and his body of work, you know.
You really don't.
And it's cool to see how like ripped he got after that to become these superheroes,
right?
And, like his little Michelob Ultra commercial and all that crap. But yeah, definitely very cool in that. But yeah, just following up on what I was saying, I was just reading something that said, you know, I'm not familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy's comics, only the movies, and so I don't know what they originally were like or anything like that, but that's you know, one of those articles on Facebook was like, you know, here's the differences between the movie version and the comic book version, and it's like, oh, his dad was way worse than, you know, Kurt Russell's portrayal of his dad, and you know, he is supposed to be some hard ass war veteran, and you know, now we got goofy Chris Pratt. Was like, I can't imagine Chris Pratt not being goofy, you know, so. It's the comic relief, and you know, I'm sure there's a handful of people that are mad about it, like we're mad about Batman and Lois Lane or something, that they just know that much more about it, and they're like, he's not supposed to be like this, you know? And that's why, you know, I will always love Watchmen and still have faith that Zack Snyder can produce a great comic book movie.
Yeah.
As long as he follows the comic book, you know. Watchmen was so awesome because of how dead on it is, you know. And like somebody had bought me that, and so I got to, you know, read it and watch it back to back, and I was just like blown away. You know, I get blown away in these other movies too. It feels cool when you see like other superheroes enter this, like the screen for the first time and be side by side with ones that you know from other movies, and now they're in the same movie, and you're like, wow, that's awesome, you know. Finally, you know. And they ham up those moments too. They make a cool shot of it, but you know, like, but that's about it, you know. Like nothing else is like, that's the part from that comic book that I read, and you know, it didn't happen just the same way. I don't really have a whole lot of moments like that, I feel like. And so that blew me away with Watchmen, and has me hoping for Zack Snyder still, even though he's been coming up with these other ones that everybody's not that fond of and kind of, you know, hating on a little bit. And so it's like, well, I mean, it's still better than, I guess, what we were dealing with in the 90s, right? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine being 30 and watching those now. And, like, for the first time, you know, seeing the bat nipples for the first time, and you know, the cod piece, and you know, the Batman credit card, never leave home without it, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, when I saw it, Arnold Schwarzenegger was little. Arnold Schwarzenegger was a really cool guy, so I was like, I'm okay with him being Mr. Freeze. He's cool, you know. But like, if you want to take the movie seriously, it's like, okay. Well, you know, don't have the CW guys are better. You know, Gotham. I mean, like, is blowing the freaking villains, and I mean, just Gotham is beating any of those sitcoms. I'm sorry, CW. I know you got like 3 or 4 of them, but no way are you beating Gotham, and how cool that is. Like, first off, change your formula. Not every superhero show has to start with, my name is so-and-so, and this is my damn story. How many... I watched Arrow on Netflix before they came up with the skip the intro thing. How many times do we have to hear, you know, my name is Oliver Queen, and for 5 years I was trapped on this island with one goal, survive. You know, now I'm back and I'm trying to get my life together as a playboy, you know?
Still introduces like 5 years later.
Yeah, 5 years later, and my mom and sister are out of control, you know, like, my dad wasn't a great guy, everybody, you know, like, I gotta right all the wrongs in the city. Best thing about Arrow, they had Cody Rhodes on there.
Oh.
So that was awesome. For wrestling fans, they had Cody Rhodes playing one of the villains. And another revelation of when you just see, like, you know, Cody Rhodes next to the other wrestlers looks like an average dude. You know, really small guy. Kind of, you know, he's built, but he's, you know, like on the leaner side. And then when you see these wrestlers next to normal people or actors, it's like, they're just giants over them. Like, whoa, Cody Rhodes is like, he is just like mopping the floor with all these guys. Like, he's huge and built, you know, and it's like, that's not CGI. That's just like, he's standing next to like 7 foot tall people all day with huge muscles, so you think he's like a little guy, but when you stand next to a regular guy, it's like, oh my gosh! Like when Kobe Bryant was like on trial, and I saw him like stand next to his lawyers for the first time. It's like, what? Like, he's got like little people for lawyers. Like, I just never. You know, they're on the court next to each other the whole time. They look like normal people, and then you see them next to normal people. You're like, oh my god. So, but yeah, Gotham, awesome villains. But out of the CW shows, The Flash has the best villains. My favorite probably being Captain Cold, which is Wentworth Miller. Even though he puts his own kind of like, it's a little hokey style to the way he talks.
Sometimes it is a bit much.
Yeah, you know, you could tell he's like, you know, trying to play the like super cool bad guy, you know. You know, listen here, kid, it ain't always flowers and daisies, you know, kind of. He like just says kind of cliche lines and like says it with like, you could tell like he's making a voice for it, but I'm okay with it. Captain Cold, Wentworth Miller as Captain Cold is awesome. He went awesome into Legends of Tomorrow. I only saw a little bit of that, and he kind of left that show. I don't know if that was just to restart up Prison Break, or if he was coming back, or that's just, I haven't been able to follow up because I kind of follow it on Netflix instead of live. That way I can make sure we see him in order kind of thing, and watch a season all the way through, instead of, you know, you miss one and then you're like, well, what happened? And then when is that coming on again? I just love it. I just have to wait for Netflix, and it sucks that sometimes you gotta wait like 2 whole seasons for the last one to come out. But yeah, so I don't really know what his fate on Legends of Tomorrow is or anything, but he was definitely one of my favorites. The arc with Reverse Flash was really cool. Flash's whole, just the first 3 seasons, which is I think all I've seen, they all have like great storyline and great surprises. It's just after the fact you realize that they just keep saying the same thing though. You gotta go faster. You gotta go faster. And then they bring in other people like, oh, you know, now his long lost stepbrother is in here. Oh, guess what? He's a speedster. And then, you know, like his dad in another universe is a speedster. And it's like, okay, well, I get it with the like alternate universes and Earth 2 and all that. But then, you know, like now I'm seeing like, you know, I saw on like Facebook Iris West in an outfit. And like now she's a speedster. And, you know, and it says, run, Iris, run. You know, that's what they all say. Run, Barry, run. Run, you gotta be faster.
Yeah.
I need to go faster. You know, I'm the fastest man alive, except for at the beginning of each season. I'm not the fastest man alive, and I gotta beat the fastest man alive if I'm gonna win. It's amazing how many problems can be solved with just being fast.
Yeah. Nobody wants to fight. They want to run.
Yeah.
And then fight.
Yeah, if you just
running.
run. Yeah, we have to run through the city, and we have to play tag first before we fight, and then we'll stop somewhere and fight a little bit, and then we'll go play tag some more. You know, it's like okay, but the villains really make that, and I guess his support staff really makes it too. You know,
Yeah, they're good. It was like
Cisco, and I forget her other name, but like she's also Killer Frost.
Yeah.
And that's cool that kind of bleeds over from Vibe and Killer Frost and everything.
Right.
But it's just like, how many people can we get on this show to be like, you know, like they're like, oh, I wish I was a superhero. Oh, you want to be? Well, just write that in. You know, you'll be one next season. You know,
Yeah.
like what? We gotta have some normal people here. You know, not everybody can be the superhero.
No.
Oh my gosh! And then they did the singing episode, the musical.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, are we just like somebody have a bucket list that they're that they were running through? Why is there a musical episode?
Well, I think the guy who plays Flash came from a musical TV show back before this.
Oh, okay. So is he back there like, guys, when are we gonna do the musical one? Come on, I know it would be a hit, you know, and like, and everybody's a musician, and like, if we went over and Joe is a jazz singer, you know, it's like,
like every season he's got to sing.
Yeah, it's like, gosh.
I think someone wants to be a singer instead of an actor.
Yeah,
He's
like,
no detective.
yeah, he's no detective. He's like, he's singing on the job or whatever.
Yeah.
Looks like we got another murder, you know? Like,
Damn it, Joe.
Joe! Do your damn job. The family's over there. It's like he's all singing and dancing over there in the crime scene. The family is mourning, Joe. Have
Detective West is at it again.
Yeah. I'm writing you up, man. Officer unbecoming, a conduct unbecoming of an officer, you know?
Yeah.
But, man. We can just rant and rave all day.
That's good banter.
Yeah, good banter. Are we finished with what we got here?
Yes.
I was gonna have you open these up with me, but I managed to get through them while you were opening your box. So, so I guess we could just admire them. We got, for some reason, Catwoman has got this killer lean on her. She is,
Leaning Tower of Catwoman.
Leaning Tower Catwoman. She just had a big old glass of drink.
Yeah.
She's like,
There you go.
and she is leaning back. And so, what do we got? Hot Girl, Batgirl, Harley Quinn, Supergirl, Batwoman, Catwoman, Poison Ivy. I believe that's all of them. I got 5 on here. And I got 7 here, so I don't know how that happened. I'm not sure.
Both have first names.
both have the classic Steiner line. Both have first names. I have no idea why. But actually, so I need to pick up like the Harley Quinn or the Batgirl box because they're the ones that aren't included in here. So I don't know what else comes with those sets. But as far as I know, this is the complete collection. I gotta look up the rest. But that's it for the Bombshells, which they look awesome. Poison Ivy, especially. I mean, she's in some, got garter belts. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. I don't know if this is for children. You know, all these Bombshells. This one's a little bit more, Supergirl, a little bit more modest and everything.
Yeah.
But Catwoman, she's got the whip. They could have gone a different way with that. I feel like they just made her more of like a secretary. But she does have those thigh-high stockings there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, pretty promiscuous. Yeah, so that's those. That's this DC box by Culturefly. Where can you get that? Is that on Loot Crate or is that culturefly.com or
Culturefly.com.
Culturefly? Yes. Okay, cool.
And there is more coming out, so
yeah,
if you want to subscribe to it, now would be the time.
Right, and if not, we'll probably have them here, and you can see what comes up. Are you're able to buy like previous boxes too? Is that correct?
Well, so far this is the first, so.
Oh, so we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Maybe. DC. I don't know if they let you before they had stopped in that Legion of Collectors. Mm-hmm. I really didn't check the site up until I was like, when am I getting another box? And so I went and checked the site, and they're like, we're done with this section. I'm like, oh, they're not sending me another box. Okay.
Emails.
Yeah, well, they might have, but like, gosh, you get so much junk mail. I'm like, I'm in like email crap. I was talking to you about FYE before. I got problems with, if you watch the Bebop episode, I had stuff with Enite Media. I'm currently still going through hell with Microsoft and trying to buy a year of Xbox Live, which turned into a nightmare. Like, their system wasn't working. I tried to buy 1 year, and the next day it was working, and every attempt we made went through. So I ended up buying like 20 years, but they didn't give them to me. They just charged me for 20 years, and they're like, "Oh, okay. Let me just take like $1,500 out of your account." Whoa, I'm glad I had that. I was like, "Geez, man, are you crazy?" And I'm like, and then they're like, I got into disputes with them, and I'm like it's over like 3 different payments, like a debit card, credit card, and PayPal, and of course you have to call up every single entity. Like, oh, none of these are connected. I have to call my bank for the debit card. A different bank, even though my credit card's under that same bank, somebody else runs the credit card, so I have to call them, and then I got to dispute it with PayPal. And all of them were like, we need more information. What the hell kind of information you need? It's a service. I am owed like 20 years of Xbox Live for free, or not for free, but like, I paid for that, and you didn't give it to me. What else is there to tell? How can you not know that? Like, well, we don't see the charges on Microsoft. Well, what do I gotta wait for, your quarterly report? You got an extra $1,500 sitting in your bank account somewhere. Go find it. Like, oh my gosh, nobody wants to help. They're like, well, just tell us a little bit more of what happened. Like, there is nothing to tell. God. So I'm in hell with Microsoft right now. It's just a nightmare. I wanted to do an episode just ranting on them, but I didn't think anybody would want to watch it. I'm tired of talking about it. To all the banks and them, it's just... it's not even worth it. And there's no redemption episode. I'm not going to show up at Microsoft headquarters and they'll be like, oh, we got you this new Xbox and we got you all this... like, I'm barely going to scrape by, it looks like, with getting my money back. And hopefully I didn't get charged any interest on it. Months later, yeah. Like, can I at least have a month free or, something for...
The year you originally promised free?
Yeah, that was another thing. They promised me a year free, and I'm like, I don't even care if I get that year free. Just give me exactly what I paid for, please. Please. So, like, that's pretty much, like, what I'm looking through my emails for. And, like, and PayPal makes it even worse. They're like, you can't even bundle the transactions together. It's like 5 different transactions for the exact same thing on PayPal. And it's like, you got to open a dispute for each one of them. And so I'm getting 5 emails. We need more information. We need more information. We need more information. I'm like, and if then like, I'm like, there is no more information. Just handle it. Oh, because you didn't give us more information, we're going to deny your case. But you can appeal it within the next 10 days. And I'm just like, oh, God, I can't rely on these people to handle it on their own. Like, can somebody, is it just robots working on it? Can somebody just look at it and just know that it's like your crappy system? Once again, slave to the machines, like FYE. Microsoft Wells Fargo, PayPal, slaves to their machines. You know, our hands are tied. We can't do anything about it until, Stephen Hawking's died, and now we don't know what to do. Machines are taking over. Like, God, man, get me Bill Gates on the phone and tell him, just like, tell him to quit building his army. And I'm funding it, like, so, oh gosh, get on a rant about that too. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's these Funkos, the Bombshells. That's this box from Culturefly. Really awesome, great content. Even jealous to say it's better content than the Legion of Collectors box. Let's see if they can keep it up though. There's no exclusive Funko, but I mean, like, a track jacket that the Russian mafia would envy. I mean, pins galore, artwork, lantern planter.
Can't even be mad at that.
Yeah, and a belt buckle with the ID card use. I mean, why don't they do, like Batman had the utility belt, like the one from back in the day.
Yeah.
I feel like they should have more memorabilia like that. Like, you can buy a belt that looks like Batman's belt, and I bet you a lot of cosplayers have stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But like, I feel like it should be like a more common thing,
right?
Who wouldn't want that? I don't know. It's kind of big, but it's still cool. I mean, like, it's a cool belt, and it's like an alternative to wearing like cargo pants. You have actual slots for everything. Like, I don't know what you'd have to have, like very small things like deck of cards, some dice, your car keys.
Yeah.
Shark repellent.
Oh, you mean it's good for magicians?
Yeah, magicians. A rabbit.
Yeah. And a utility belt.
Yeah. I mean, he had everything. The shark repellent,
Yeah. You never know when you need a rabbit.
Yeah, so very cool stuff. That's it for this episode. We're running on crazy long time.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.